Hi everybody, Miss Molly here for First Chapter Friday. Today I am bringing you Meet the Megafauna. Get to know 20 of the largest animals to ever roam the earth. And this is by Gabrielle Balkan. All right, so this is pretty cool. So everybody knows I love dinosaurs, right? So this one, our little synopsis is, move over dinosaurs, megafauna are mega cool. Imagine a deer with antlers that are 12 feet wide, or a snake so big it can swallow a crocodile whole. Each is classified by scientists as megafauna, growing to ginormous proportions because of the abundance of food, habitat, and oxygen available during earlier geologic periods. Megafauna are the supersized versions of some pretty familiar animals. Giant pigs, giant sloths, giant turtles. A few megafauna are even still around. In fact, the very largest animal ever to live on Earth, the blue whale, whose tongue alone can weigh 6,000 pounds, still swims in the ocean today. Discover 20 of the biggest megafauna in this visually striking and highly informative guide that takes us through the eons to explore some of the most fantastic creatures to ever roam the Earth. All right, my friends, let's get into it. So again, like most of the things that I am sharing with you, this is a non-fiction book. So if you need to read a non-fiction book coming up in the summer for summer reading, this would be a pretty cool choice. Okay, let's get into it, my friends. So we have our table of contents, all of the different things. All right, so first, what are megafauna? Long before you or anyone you know was born, giant beasts walked the earth. A few of these giants are still alive today. 110 million years ago, there were crocodiles so long they would have needed a bed the size of a fire engine to nap in. 20 million years ago, there was rhinoceroses 6 times heavier than any that are alive today. As recent as 600 years ago, there were birds so tall they would have towered over the top of some swing sets. Today, the blue whale is longer than 2 school buses and so gigantic that it needs thousands of pounds of food every single day. These magnificent beings are all megafauna. Megafauna are any animals that have grown to supersized proportions. Some scientists describe megafauna as animals that are significantly larger than their closest modern relatives, as you see with many of the animals in this book. The abundance of food, habitat, and oxygen available in the Cretaceous, Paleogene, Neogene, and early Quaternary periods helped animals grow to great sizes. We do not have these in same abundances today. Scientists learn about the past by studying fossils. It's rare to find a complete skeleton of an extinct animal. Sometimes part of the skeleton has been eaten or dragged away by a scavenger. Other times, sections have been carried away by flood, buried by rubble, crushed during construction work, or even excavated by an amateur archaeologist. In the best case scenario, a team of paleontologists would discover several entire skeletons from both male and female animals at different stages of their lives. More likely, a team uncovers a handful of bones from an adult female, another handful of different bones from an adolescent male, and maybe a single bone from an infant. With just a few bones, scientists can estimate the size of the entire body, comparing it to what we have observed in animals alive today. There are a few things to keep in mind while you consider the estimated measurements in this book. Height measurements run from foot to shoulder. The head is not included. Length measurements run from the snout to the rump. The tail, if there is one, is usually not included. When an animal's tail is included in their complete length, this book includes the little asterisk symbol in the animal's information box. Just as with people, the size of each animal varies, in part based on what food is available to them and the size of their biological parents. Some animals have extreme size differences depending on whether they are male or female. This book lists the estimated size that goes along with the largest of the species and notes whether it is female, male, or, if the fossil record is not clear, unknown. Where and when did they live? For millions of years during and following the Cretaceous period, these massive animals lived in nearly every part of the world. They lived in warm climates close to the equator and frigid areas near the North and South poles. In different parts of the world, different types of megafauna flourished. Most megafauna became extinct around 10,000 years ago. Some are still alive today, though many of those are in danger of going extinct. Geologists, scientists who study the liquid, gas, and solids that make up the Earth, measure periods of time using a geologic timescale. It provides the history of the Earth into smaller units of time based on major events in the history of life. We name these units to make it easier to talk about and understand what has happened in our Earth's history. Turn the page for more information about measuring specific geologic time. Then continue on to explore the world of megafauna. So then we have the different measurements of time, which you guys can read at your leisure. And I figure we will talk about the super croc. So there's our croc there, but we have a gatefold which opens up to kind of illustrate how big this kind of animal is. So let me read this one. The super croc is one of the fiercest predators in the mid-Cretaceous period. Including her tail, this particular beast is 40 feet long, weighs 17,500 pounds, and rules the lush forests and rivers where she lives. Most of the super croc's weight is wiry muscle, packed into a coat of armor made of bone and scales. This collection of interlocking shoots, or thick bony plates, covers every inch of the reptile's back. It's unlikely that any creature has teeth or claws substantial enough to puncture this armor. When she hunts, she uses her 20-foot-long tail as a spring to thrust herself from the water to capture her prey. Her 5-foot-long jaw is like a steel trap that no animal can escape from. And as a fully grown adult, she can overpower almost every animal. The super croc is a carnivore. She will eat anything she can catch, usually fish and turtles, but if the opportunity presents itself, she'll feast on a medium-sized plant-eating dinosaur, like a hadrosaur. The acid in her stomach helps her digest bones, hooves, shells, and any other body part that isn't fortunate enough to made its way in. She can go up to 2 years without eating, and her body can store what it doesn't immediately need, but she will never turn down a meal. The only known differences between modern crocodilians and the super croc is its size. Both have growth spurts through adulthood and then continue to grow more slowly as long as they are alive, including their tails. The length of the saltwater crocodile is 10 feet for females and 23 feet for males. Cretaceous crocs were about twice the size and 8 times as heavy as the largest croc alive today. The super croc was last seen around 110 million years ago. We don't know why this magnificent reptile vanished. We formulated an idea of what they were like by observing the more than 20 species of crocodilians alive today. They hatch by the dozens from eggs, spend their days basking in small groups in the sun, lie waiting for a meal, and fear virtually nothing. Pretty cool. All right, and then it continues on to a whole bunch of different animals like giant turtles, giant snakes, giant rhinoceroses, and more. So my friends, this is where I'm going to leave you. If this sounds interesting and you would like to read more about these, definitely come in and see us and pick up a copy. If you have any questions, definitely give us a call, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks everybody. Bye.